Hey, old mate, well done. You're running 7th, Gareth, well done.
Hello, welcome to a sunny Sunday, 11th of June 2023, so Cookie's Ramble. The day after the Barnsley Boundary, so it was the Barnsley Boundary Relay yesterday. The 73-mile route, you've got 10 legs split in various distances, taking on various bits of terrain, hills, flats, trails, roads, fells, some dodgy road crossings, some nice bits, some bad bits, but that's Barnsley. It's always a cracking event, like proper team ethos. Penistone Footpath Runners, my old club, organise it, and they had 350 runners take on yesterday across 35 teams, which would make sense because there's 35 teams, there's 10 legs, so that makes 350, and various ages, sexes, people, shapes and sizes take part, and it's just about getting round and doing the best that you can for your team. There is a competition element to it, and like anything, and it's good to have that competition, whether it's against yourself or against others as well, whether you're just looking for PBs or you're looking to try and win. I took on leg 9 yesterday, which is like 10.5 mile from Dunford Bridge, Windscar Reservoir to Upper Denby. It's one of the long legs. There's 3 long legs, 2, 6 and 9, and it's net downhill, I'd say, because it starts higher up than it finishes, but it's got a mix of road, a mix of trail, mix of grass fields, and it's split really in 2 halves. So like the first half is off-road and the second half you've got large part of road. Yesterday it reached a peak of 27 degrees. On the tarmac, I'd say it were hotter than that in the second half, as it's bouncing up and radiating from the tarmac. But yeah, enjoyed it. It was probably its slowest I've ever run leg 9. Had a headwind for the full duration, and it was beating hot. But I did 1 hour 10 roughly. So yeah, enjoyed it. I think with PB on there's 1 hour 7 low. So yeah, it's horses for courses, and yeah, it were a tough innings yesterday, and I was glad to finish, put it that way, and suddenly found some shade in the depths of a tree. But yeah, that was the Barnsley Boundary, and it's probably, take all your marathons, all your 10Ks, your big races, it's probably the race that I look forward to most in the year, because it's a proper team event, and running in nature is probably the most solitary, individualised sport that you can find. And yeah, you can train with other people and all that sort of stuff, but it is the most individualised sport that you can find out there. And in nature, like, it's just about you, your 2 legs, putting one foot in front of the other the best that you can, and you can take it as that, you can do it on your own, you can carry on doing it on your own, and you'll get far. But like the old matchstick analogy, if you put one matchstick together, it's probably easy to break, whereas if you put multiple together, it's a little bit more difficult to break. So probably late 2016, 2017, it changed for me running, and prior to that I created a bit of a team around me, but then I joined a running club, and I joined Penistone Footpath Runners, and I got a bit more of a team around me, and we started training together and creating like this perfect environment for us. Well, I'm not saying that it's the best in the world, because clearly we're not, but creating the best environment for us to possibly succeed. So going out and doing your long sessions together, talking to each other on a routinely basis, supporting each other, and just being there as friends and as pals and having each other's back, and creating that environment comes together as well in the Barnsley Boundary. So when we are trying to get a team of 10 together and a team of like good lads that we train with together, it's all catered around who's best for what leg, what would suit them, and all that sort of stuff. And you get to know your pals, and they feel like they've got some sort of onus to perform for you. So me and Scott were stood at one of the legs yesterday watching, and we said, like, we feel more pressure when it comes to the Barnsley Boundary, because you want to have your pals back. And like, for me, that's a great thing, and I get a lot out of that. I know a lot of people don't get stuff out of that, but it's one of them days of the year where it does all come together. You could look and do the 12-stage relays the same, the 6-stage relays, Damflast relays, and Royal Valley relays, and all the local stuff the exact same, and take the exact same ethos. But for us, it's the Barnsley Boundary, which, yeah, we could probably look at bigger fish to fry sometimes. But yeah, it's about creating that environment for you to succeed, and that's what I kind of take out of it, and that's probably been drilled into me a little bit by Sean Dimlow as well, from when we used to do as dam wall and as tunnel reps. Yeah, when it comes to the Barnsley Boundary as well, it's good for me as well, and for others, to try and follow it around on the day. So it was good to see other people at each different legs, like just popping up, supporting, cheering people on, and that's what kind of makes it as well. People make it a bit of an event. Scott says it's the only day that he eats a McDonald's in the calendar year. He brings Cole every year to watch it as well, his son, which is quite good. And yeah, it's good to just pop up in places and support people. As part of it as well, you see different people that you don't usually see in races, because the quality's spread out on the legs, and you see different people having an opportunity to win and finish first and second and third on their legs as well, which is quite good. In terms of our team, I'm not sure on times, and I might even get positions wrong. So on first leg we had Josh Bird, who managed to finish first on his leg, so did really well. He did get lost, he did fall over a stile twice, but he rolled it out in style. And then Scott, he were on second leg, so he's been a little bit niggly and injured lately with a calf. Managed to finish, I think it was about 4 minutes in front of Kai, training partner Kai. Probably difference, Kai wore his trail shoes, Scott wore his road shoes, so that might be a difference, I don't know. Third leg we had Stuart Wilson, who managed to finish third, I believe. So he did really well. So he's just had a child and he's not training as much either, so yeah, he did really well on the third leg. On the fourth leg, so making a switch from the fifth leg, was Michael Grain, who managed to finish fourth overall. Another one that's got a young child, and he's making the swing back into some marathon training after post-London recovery, so managed to finish fourth overall. And another one did really well. And then Gary Briscoe jumped in. I think he's been on every leg this year, as we've been planning the team. Jumped in, did leg 5 for us, managed to take on the win in about 31 minutes, something like that, or 32 minutes. And then it was quite good as well, as I stood on finish line watching Gary, to see Ryan Coplin, the mixed team, come home in second, which is quite good for the mixed team as well. And then sixth leg, we had Phil Montgomery, so he's a natural born fell runner, madman, ultra, proper geek when it comes to it. He managed to take the win. I didn't see him at all throughout leg 6. Like, every point I got to, he'd beaten me there, which was quite good. And I was following Naomi round on that leg, who PB'd Now we got 1 hour 45 for leg 6, which is up and over Warncliffe Crags. It's not flat, definitely not like road, it's all fell and trail and fields. So yeah, Naomi PB'd. I think she averaged like 9 30-minute miles for the full thing, and she was first lady home, but she was competing in a mixed team yesterday. Leg 7, so Joe Sweetnam-Powell runs for Hillsborough, but he always runs as a guest for us. We class him as a Barnsley lad, even though he lives down at like Chef Wednesday, so it works at a primary school in Hillsborough. So yeah, Joe Sweetnam-Powell did leg 7. As he ran past me on start line, he's going, I don't know where. I goes, oh, just sit and follow lads in front, you'll be fine. I think he ended up winning by like 7 minutes. So yeah, he didn't do too bad. Say he didn't know where. I wrecked that leg with Joe last year as well, and that were interesting because we ended up going out on the leg and then running back on the road on leg 7 on like Langset Road, like main Sheffield Road and stuff, which were busy and a lot of turbulent wind. But I have run on Woodhead before, and that's different completely. Leg 8, we roped Rich Price into it, who managed to finish, I think he was 3rd runner home. He might have been 2nd, and he might quote me different, but I'm not 100% sure. But he did quite well. Leg 8 is a full fell leg, so we did put Phil Montgomery on that one originally, and then we put Scott on leg 6, but then we had to change it last minute. And then Rich Price jumped in on leg 8, did really well. And then there was me on leg 9, 1 hour 10, managed to win my leg. It was quite competitive yesterday, so we were stood on the start line. I'm looking round and there's quite a few lads that I can rub shoulders with, and yeah, it was warm, but it's warm for everyone. And yeah, I think it was slowest any inners have done leg 9 in previous years. It's always the same faces that do leg 9, so we've got his own little crew going off. And then leg 10, so leg 10 we asked Mark Havenhand, so he lives in Sheffield, still runs for Barnsley. We roped him into it, and he were convinced that he's not a fit runner, he's not in shape, he's been doing too much biking and all that sort of stuff. Gave me every excuse under the sun. Leg 10 is a downhill glory leg from Upper Denby all the way downhill to Cannonall, which yeah, if you look on the Strava map, it's just a line down. And then Mark ended up coming home with the win on leg 10. So yeah, must have run alright, must have not got lost, unless he did get lost and cut corner short. But yeah, he did really well, and it was good to be a part of, and obviously took home the glory for us on the leg. But yeah, for us, that's what we wanted to do, that's what we tried initially. We did have a team that we thought would be in shape to try and get the course record, but the conditions definitely weren't right as it went later in the day yesterday, and I was like 5 minutes slower or 4 minutes slower than I've run, or I could run that leg, and I think it was the same for everyone, to be honest. But yeah, always next year on the Barnsley Boundary. Would be interesting if we did like a winter version of the event, because yeah, imagine how different the scenery and everything and all the conditions would look, or a backwards version. But yeah, enjoyed it. Will be looking forward to next year, as I always am, and it's like countdown to Christmas when it comes to that. Probably favourite team event that I've ever done, and again, it's probably because of Sean Dimlow that I'm like that when it comes to that race. But yeah, I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it. If you want to succeed, you got to create your best possible environment and get your right team around you. And yeah, succeed might mean different to different people, and you might want to get different things out of it, but as long as you surround yourself with the people that are like-minded to you, what you want to be and where you are, and what you want to become, and then you'll get the best possible outcome for yourself. Anyway, week in training. So this week I've had a good week of training. I've had an easy week, but I've also pushed it, so it's started to get a little bit warmer towards the back end of the week. So today I have only done 12 mile on Sunday, just as a recovery, mindful that I did run quite a bit yesterday and it were a different type of running. So I did 15 mile on Monday across 2 runs, so I did 10 mile in the morning, 5 mile in the evening, nice and easy, nothing daft, nothing ridiculous. I did run in the evening from Dorothy Island, so it were a lot flatter over that there Cuddiff, so that was good and good to run somewhere different. And then Tuesday, 5 mile in the morning, and then in the evening it was 9.8. I did 5.2 in the morning, 9.8 in the evening. Did some session at Dorothy Island with the gang, and it was quite a good session actually. It was a pyramid session, so we did 1 minute on, 1 minute off, and then 2 minute on, 2 minute off, 3 minute on, 3 minute off, and then back down, 2, 1, equal recoveries. And we went up the pyramid, down the pyramid, up the pyramid, down the pyramid. So that was quite good, enjoyed it, and was notching out some different paces, which is important. And then on Wednesday, went up and did 6.3 mile on like a local route near me, nice and easy, kept it nice and flat. Then in the evening ran with Dave Hanks on the trails, on the fields, no nettles thankfully, and kept it nice and flat again. Ended up doing about 16 mile on Wednesday. Thursday decided to skip a session this week and just did 15. It was in the morning 9 mile with 6 with Kai, and then ran some laps around the field. And then mindful that I was doing the boundary this weekend, so I just did 6 mile in the evening. And then Friday still just ran once, so keeping to my promise, ran 8 mile before work, and that was that. So nice and easy, nothing too daft, nothing too ridiculous. Ran with Kai, he did 7 and I did 8. It's about half a mile from Kai's house to mine, so it does work out quite perfectly. And then yesterday, Barnsley Boundary, did a mile warm up and then my 10.5 mile leg. And then to be honest, when I finished, I was spent, dehydrated, and blowing out of my butt. So yeah, I did 11.5 mile yesterday, and then just gone out and run on the York Selby cycle track, and done 12 mile. Naomi's biked here because we're picking up some bike helmet cases from somebody in York, so parked at York racecourse where we are now, and then I've run from here 12 mile. So nice and easy, nothing too daft, nothing too ridiculous, and then building into the next. We'll be starting blocks towards Berlin now, so this coming week will be like my first marathon week and first marathon block, so just start building up the mileage from here. Hopefully the quality of my camera is that good as well that you can see it sweat on my forehead today. But yeah, nice, looking for an upward swing, looking for that progressive element of my training and pushing it a little bit, and just finding a little bit of overload. Like I am doing a little bit too much, but not too much. So yeah, that's a week done. 92.5 mile I think this week, about 6,000 foot of climb, but yeah, enjoyed it, and I'll be looking to try and push upwards towards hundreds now in the coming weeks as we build towards Berlin Marathon again. But yeah, cheers for listening guys, and gals, and I'll see you on the other side, and bye.